Hello, I'm John White.
And I'm Karen Devine. Tonight live at 5.
Enough is enough! Enough is enough!
It's time that we take a stand against this and resist what is happening in most schools across the country.
From Florida to Phoenix, New York to right here at home, students left class to stand up against gun violence. We have continuing live coverage on how students across the valley made their voices heard. Plus,
okay, is anybody injured?
Yes, a lot of blood. Please help, please.
911 calls from the Florida school shooting released as the man accused in the massacre enters his plea on murder charges.
You're watching KESQ, the Desert's news leader. This is News Channel 3, live at 5.
Hey, NRA! How many kids have you killed today? Hey, NRA! How many kids have you killed today?
Across the nation and right here at home, students walked out of classrooms today demanding stricter gun laws. It comes 1 month to the day after 17 people were gunned down in a South Florida high school.
we'll show you how students in other states joined the movement. First, a look at how students here at home made their voices heard. We brought you live team coverage from different school campuses on News Channel 3 at noon. Live at 5, we continue our team coverage with Valley students taking part in honoring the 17 people killed in Florida.
And News Channel 3's Zach Dahlheimer is outside Cathedral City High School tonight with our live mobile newsroom. More on this, Zach.
Yeah, John, Karen, when the shooting happened at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School exactly 1 month ago, it hit home for a lot of students all around the country, especially those right here in the Valley. And today, a large number of students across all 3 local school districts got together for peaceful memorials to remember, reflect, and protest. Silent and somber students standing in solidarity at Cathedral City High School. 17 minutes, 17 desks with 17 balloons, all for 17 lives lost in Florida 1 month ago.
They had plans to be anything that they wanted to be. And because that happened, they won't have that.
Sophomore Daniela Banderas was one of hundreds taking part in the memorial.
We're here just to honor those students because no one should ever be afraid to go to school and thinking if I'm going to be the next victim.
You could see on top of each of these desks a flower and a picture and biography of each of the 17 people who lost their lives 1 month ago.
The reason we used desks was because it kind of hits home. Just because they were students, they did go to school. They were going. It was another average day. They were just going to school.
Every time I cut the balloon, I just remembered like they were students here, and it can happen to any one of us. And the fact that it had to happen to them, and that they were like only high schoolers, and there were 17 of them, it really not only broke my heart, but it made me like really open my eyes to what's happening out in the real world.
Enough is enough!
Over in the East Valley, La Quinta and Coachella Valley High students took part in similar memorials, raising their voices with love and support.
Just to hear that, groups of friends died and were murdered together, it hurts because it's heartbreaking to know that students my age, students younger than me, had to go through this.
We want to let our students know that we do care and that we're not going to tolerate this any longer.
Now, of course, along with remembering the victims of the Florida school shooting, students also protested gun violence and spoke in favor of more gun control. We'll hear from them and other supporters about that coming up all new tonight at 6 o'clock. Live in Cathedral City, Zach Dahlheimer, News Channel 3.
Yeah, Zach, and last night we talked about the issue of school safety. It sounds like administrators were more concerned about that than kids skipping out on class today.
That's right, John. All 3 Valley school districts allowed students to take part in this if they wanted to without any disciplinary action. However, we did come across some people who did want to come into the school and take part with students in this, but were not allowed on campus due to safety reasons. We'll hear from one of those people in that full report at 6.
Okay, we'll see then. Thank you, Zach.
Thank you, Zach. And our local school districts are just 3 of thousands that joined forces in this nationwide protest. Maggie Rulli has more on the coast-to-coast fight for gun reform taken straight to lawmakers.
At 10 a.m. sharp in every time zone across the country, students walked out of class today, and for 17 minutes they rallied, demanded change.
We're tired of feeling unsafe in our streets and in our schools. We want change in action right now.
And took a moment to honor the 17 people who lost their lives in last month's shooting at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. Exactly 1 month after the shooting, the pain is still raw.
We're not going to stop fighting. We're not going to shut up. It's been a month. We're still here.
An entire country pledging to stand by them.
We need to hear from people from all over the country, and we need to make it a national issue, not just like a state issue.
Columbine and Newtown, schools now forever bonded through shared tragedy, showing their solidarity. Students marching on our nation's capital, going silent in Times Square, calling out the NRA outside the Trump International Hotel in New York. In Michigan, Arkansas, Colorado, and all up and down California.
It's time to wake up. Yeah, it's time. You don't want your brother, your sister, your daughter to be the next victims of a mass shooting.
No more gun violence! No more gun violence! We want peace!
Even in the U.S. Virgin Islands, students from more than 3,000 schools turning their anger into action.
Historians say this could be the largest youth movement in history, and organizers insist they're only getting started. Next up is the March for Our Lives in Washington on March 24th, and then next month there is another nationwide walkout planned. Maggie Rulli, ABC News, Plainville, New York.
And our coverage of this nationwide school walkout doesn't stop here. Right now at KESQ.com, you can find a slideshow of students across the Coachella Valley taking steps to end gun violence. Plus, stay with News Channel 3 on the air and with our KESQ mobile app for the most in-depth coverage here in the Valley.